Let's cross live to Lagos and speak to Kemi Longe, who is the Portfolio Director of Reserve for South, West and Central Africa at Diageo. Thank you so much, Kemi, for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you. Good evening.
Great. So, Johnnie Walker is known for its distinctive brands catering to the discerning consumer. What synergies do you see between the Trace Awards and Diageo's portfolio of brands? What do you hope to achieve?
Great question. Thank you. So the synergies are quite numerous, right? So if you look at it, the first one is music. We're known to support music. Also, even outside music, and importantly, we support the creative economy, so which is very close to what the ethos of the Trace Awards is about. Also, we are very, if you look at what Jonnie Walker is about, we are about innovation, we're about creativity, we're about people who push boundaries, and Trace Awards also supports our African music, people that push boundaries in the African music. So they're quite a lot of synergies between both brands. And this collaboration just helps us to then spotlight this talent who are doing great stuff for African music within and outside of Africa, putting Africa on the global map. So the synergies are numerous. We're happy to be on this with Trace Music. And we're not just doing a sponsorship, but it's a partnership to drive the music of Africa within Africa and beyond.
You've spoken about Jonnie Walker's strong affinity with music and also the African music industry. What's the rationale behind the connection between Diageo and the Trace Awards?
Great. So if you look at the philosophy of Jonnie Walker about, what it is, keep walking. This speaks to, like I said before, innovation, bold creativity, pushing boundaries. And if you look at this, very synonymous, and one important connecting factor is music. Music is one of the greatest forces of change, just like what drives Jonnie Walker, change. And if you look at what we've been doing over the years, we've been giving our consumers across the world synergies between music and their lifestyle. And even going forward, beyond the Trace Awards, where we've launched several things across Africa to drive music forward. And even into the future, what I'll tell you is lovers of Jonnie Walker and lovers of African music should watch out, because we're also launching our own platform where everybody in Africa who loves music, who loves African music, can enjoy across Africa. So I'll say look out for that, because Jonnie Walker is really true to the core of music. So Trace Awards was just a very good platform for us to partner with, because the synergies are there, and their own ethos of driving change, celebrating African music, just lands with what we do, the philosophy of keep walking for Jonnie Walker.
Indeed. Jonnie Walker, you say, is beyond a drink, it's a lifestyle. But I wonder how this helped both brands connect, the Trace Awards and Diageo. What is driving this connection? How did you decide it was the Trace Awards?
Great. Again, Trace Awards is not just about music. Music is at the heart of the Trace Awards, but if you look closely at the Trace Awards, young Africans, older Africans, people who have been creating in front and at the back of music, the artists, the directors, the producers, the filmmakers in this industry. And it was only right for us to partner with this platform, because as Diageo, and we're using our vehicle as Jonnie Walker to drive this message, that first of all, we're committed to Africa. We're committed to the creative economy of Africa. And like you said, it's not just a drink, right? So we want to place ourselves beyond a drink, but something that supports success in whatever form and shape that it is. And right now, Trace Award is that platform that cuts across Africa, that supports African music. Some of our biggest stars right now have partnered with Trace Awards. Some of our upcoming stars right now are partnered with Trace Awards. So for us, it was a no-brainer for us to come on this platform, not just to say, oh, we're sponsoring, but to embed ourselves in culture, to be culturally relevant to the young, vibrant the African youth who wants to just show his creativity. Music is one of the platforms, and we know that music also sits at the heart of what we love. So yes, it was a no-brainer for us to be on this, and we're saying Johnnie Walker is not just about being a drink. It's about ensuring that we support success at whatever form it is, and we encourage you to keep walking.
And beyond strengthening your brand presence in Africa, what should customers expect from this relationship, from this partnership?
This partnership is the start of many things, especially for Johnnie Walker. Across the cities in Africa, there's an expression of music of Johnnie Walker. There's an expression of experience that Johnnie Walker has created for his consumers across Africa. However, we're looking at how do we synergize these experiences, which is why I said earlier that music lovers across Africa need to watch out, because we're then creating a platform where all Africans are able to enjoy, no matter where you are, from Nigeria to Kenya to Tanzania, across Africa. So like I'll say to you, this is just the beginning. Of course, this Trace partnership is a long-term partnership, but as Johnnie Walker, this is just the beginning of how we'll continue to support the creative economy within Africa, especially music.
Great. So we are looking. You're talking about more long-term investments when it comes to African culture, particularly music. I mean, that's music to the ears. And I mean, they say, if music be the food of love, play on. I think that was Shakespeare. But let me ask you, because beyond this partnership with Trace Awards, I do understand that Johnnie Walker has created its own music events like the Flavor Code. What can you tell us about that?
Right, so this Flavor Code is just one of the expressions of how we support the creative economy through music, right? So it is a space where consumers, lovers of Johnnie Walker, lovers of music in Africa can come and express our brands and express themselves, and of course, responsibly. So this is just one of the expressions. Depending on where in Africa you go to, there's several expressions of this, and we're synergizing it into one big Pan-African expression.
Is it just going to be music? I mean, I like the idea. We look at Afro music and what Nigerian artists are doing, not just on the continent, but exporting our culture of music. Are there any plans to go beyond music and artists?
Right, like in the beginning, I think one of the first questions you asked, one of the things that is true to the core of Johnnie Walker is supporting the creative economy. Right? So music is one of the expressions that we're starting with. However, creativity comes in different forms. Of course, music, like you said, our Nigerian artists have taken our music to the world. Our Tanzanian artists, our Kenyan artists. However, there are several creative expressions that the young, vibrant people of Africa are displaying and exporting across the world. So yes, we'll continue to look at these expressions, see the best way to support the creative economy, but at the core of who we are, our philosophy is keep walking, and we encourage progress, innovation, creativity, however it comes to you. This is just one of the big platforms that we're supporting right now, but if you're a creative, Johnnie Walker is telling you again, keep walking.
I think that's a good place to leave it. Keep walking. Thank you so much, Kemi Longe, who is the Portfolio Director of Reserve for Southwest and Central Africa at Diageo. Thank you so much for your time on Newsnight.